Welcome everyone back to Rolling Stories, the podcast where we deep dive into the journey of HR leaders shaping the future of work. My name is Adrian and I'm your host today. Today we are exploring the rapidly evolving landscape of HR leadership technology and culture in the Asia retail sector. As organizations face unprecedented transformation from HR disruption to shifting expectation, HR leaders are really at the forefront, navigating both the global trends and local realities. And joining me today is Panchalee Weeratammawat, CHRO at Central Retail, one of Asia's largest and most dynamic retail group. With over 2 decades of experience, Panchalee is a driving force behind Central Retail, people strategy, digital transformation, and regional expansion. She's recognized for her ability to blend business acumen with people-first approach, having led HR teams across diverse industries, including retail, hospitality, and FMCG. And with that, thank you for coming onto the show.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Adrian. Very nice to be here today. And thanks for having me for this podcast.
Thank you for making time. Now, when I walk into your office, I can't help but notice the impressive wall of awards behind there. We don't have, I think it will take many episodes for us to go through one by one. What I want to understand, of course, to point out is it's clear that you and your team has achieved a lot over the past years. Out of all these accolades, is there one that holds the most meaning to you? And what's the story behind it?
Yeah, of course. I think one of the awards that I felt really happy about is the most HR best HR team award. I think I received a few gold awards for that, and it's really difficult. And I tell you why. With the diverse workforce of Central Retail of around 60,000 employees, 50 in Thailand, another 15,000 in Vietnam, and a few thousand in Italy, right? I have a team of maybe 400, 450 HR members, in Thailand. In Vietnam, I have another 100, 150. So it's quite a huge HR team. And in order for me to unite, the HR team together, make it as one team, it's really challenging. And it's totally worth it. When I first joined the business, maybe like almost 4 years ago, the HR team was working in isolation, and everybody is working silo. They're just focusing on their BUs, and they don't care much about the overall picture of CRC. And then I felt that is not something that we want to go. We want to move forward together. We want to leverage our strengths. We want to remove all this silo barrier. So my strategy has been building one CRC, one HR team. So I put a lot of efforts, showing them why we should work together as one team. What's the benefit for us working together as one team, and how we can really leverage our strengths and become really a far better team. If we work together as one team, I have to role model. I have to show, lead by examples. All sort of things, in order for us to be here today. So I think that's really one of the most memorable and the most proud accolade for me as a CPO of Central Retail.
That's amazing. What would you say would be one of the most challenging aspects of trying to gather people who had always been working as individual into thinking and knowing that they belong to one big team?
Right. First of all, you have to understand the differences, between the teams first, no? And in reality, we have so many BUs, different stages of maturities, different expectations from the BU CEOs. How can I make sure that the team have empathy for each other on this one, and they understand that? And I have to also making sure that the BU CEOs are okay with this too, because with myself coming into CRC, I've made it clear to the BU CEOs that from now on, I will be, their functional leaders. So it has to be a dual reporting relationship. Yeah, I don't want to call it, double solid, but the reality is almost double solid lines. With that, I have to make sure that, the BU CEOs see the benefits of us doing this. We work together as one team. We move together. I take the responsibilities, of people agenda. Because you can't simply say that without showing them that, what kind of benefits you can bring to the table, right? I cannot earn respect. I cannot get credibility from them if I don't do something right based on what I'm saying. So I did that. And then I think the challenges started to unfold. The BU HR head started to feel that, okay, if the BU CEOs, feel recognize the importance of this and are supportive of this direction, then they're feeling better, a bit relieved. Now, second thing is, once you have that, you have to really understand, the expectations from the business, the strategies from the BUs, what are the things that are missing, what are the things that we should be their priorities. And I have looked at all of these, and I share with them the entire strategy of HR. Once they have a clear direction, they understand my clear vision, and they understand the purpose of why, we have to work together as one team. I think things are started to be better. But of course, initially, it was quite challenging.
I would imagine any new changes would be very hard to push through. Yeah. But beyond the accolade that, of course, the recognition of your most outstanding team, what are some of the tangible outcomes that you can share with our audience after having everyone into one CRC?
We have improved a lot as a team, and therefore, it results in better motivation for HR team, because I keep telling people that in order for you to do the right thing for your customers, you have to make sure that you have do the right thing for your employees first. In order for you to do the right things for your employees, your HR team has to be happy first, right? And they have to feel respected, they have to feel valued, they have to feel appreciated. As a result of that, they are motivated to do the right things for the employees. And hopefully after that, then the employees should be able to do the right things for the customers, right? So it's this kind of value chain. And it has improved a lot because, first of all, the feedback from the business leaders, they're all positive. I received a lot of feedback, a lot of positive feedback from a lot of BU leaders that they said, the HR team is much stronger. Now HR team has really been treated as business partners. We are joining all the business discussions. Previously it was not. Previously, the business leaders, they discuss among themselves and then they tell us what to do. And then I said, no, we have to stop. We have to be able to really be part of the business discussions. We have to be able to tell you what should be done, what should not be done, what's right for the people, what's not right for the people. So I think that has changed, and now my HR heads even joked, they were joking to me, many times that with all these changes, they have a lot more to do. They have to sit in the business meetings, a lot more meetings for them, but they appreciated that. And, the result from typical HR KPIs have improved a lot in terms of retention, employee satisfaction, engagement, talent retention, and things like that. All of these have improved significantly over the last few years.
That's amazing. And I know we have other questions to run through, but I'm really fascinated by this story. For people who may be at the start of such journey right now, what would be some of your baby steps advice you would give to them if you have to go through this all over again?
I think as a leader, you have to spend your time, you have to spend your time with your people first. You have to spend your time on the right thing, making sure that anything that, is worth investing your time, you have to do that. First of all, you have to understand business, right? You have to understand the priorities. You have to understand, what is lacking and what are the things that are needed and what you should do to help them achieve, the business strategies, and we should grow together. That's one. Now, the other thing is you have to understand your team. You have to understand the differences of people in your team. When you talked about diversity, inclusion and all that, you have to make it real, within your HR team first, and I spend a lot of my time, having one-to-one with the team. I have, just to give you a bit of scale, I have 23 direct reports, and I've been able to manage to have one-on-one with them, maybe, not on the regular basis, don't have to be every week for everybody. Certain people, for some people that would require a bit more frequency in terms of meetings. Initially, for example, I've just got people who just joined the business. I can do one-to-one on a weekly basis. When they start to be a bit more settled in the role, I can do twice a month, or I can do once a month, depending on the maturity and the needs, that I need to invest my time with them. But then you started to understand. You have to understand, the difficulties that they're facing, the challenges they're facing. What are the things that you can do as a leader? You have to provide clear vision. You have to provide clear direction. You have to be able to help them, in the way that they need. And then you have to empower them. But again, you have to know, as a leader, you have to know what are the roadblocks for them, and you have to help paving the way for them. And then I do that, in order to gain, respect from them. How would they need to listen to me as a CPO if I don't add any value to them, right? I gain respect, I gain that credibility because I do the right thing for them. And again, I'm not micromanaging. That these are senior people. They are BUHR heads, and each business unit, they're like 8,000 to 10,000 people. So these BUHR heads are not senior. They're quite, these BUHR heads are not junior people. They're quite senior in their roles. So I have to, understand, their challenges and priorities as well. My style has been, I am demanding as a boss, but I'm empathetic as a leader. I told them that working for me, you don't have to, worry about, cannot say anything to me. What I ask from you is don't lie. If you lie, then, it destroys our trust. Once we are open to each other, we can help each other, to work through a number of challenges. Let me know what I can help. I don't want to step in your toes, but anything that you find difficult, and talk to me, and then I find a way to help. So I think over a period of time, all of these have developed trust and respect, among each other.
I would imagine with 23 direct reports, it's not possible for you to micromanage to begin with.
Yeah, but I think initially I had to a little bit, before I made sure that I can, I understand each other, and I know the strengths and weaknesses of each other, and I know that how I can utilize the strengths of each other, and how I can improve the weaknesses of the each others. And as a team, I have to understand that first, but that means that originally, or initially during the, initial phase, I have to be a bit involved in terms of details until I know that, okay, now I know where to step back, I know where to, empower them more. I know where to, help them more.
You mentioned earlier on that companies need to take care of the employee first so that they can take care of the customers later. It reminded me of something that Sir Richard Branson said before. He said the exact same thing. That was their adage over in Virgin. And on that note, I'm really curious to understand about employee well-being within Central Group. Could you give us an example of your company's approach to employee well-being that actually made a measurable impact within the organization?
For me, employee well-being meaning you have to understand, again, to me, you have to understand the individualities of the individuals, right? People have different needs and different priorities, and you have to understand that. And to me, employee well-being comes with a number of things. For example, they might require certain time off, to do certain things to manage their families, and to me, that's something that's important for the individuals. Or some people would have some financial difficulties, because of what. Then you have to understand how to help them. So primarily, to me, how you help them remove the stress or reduce the stress, at work. And that comes in different forms, right? And I think for us here, we provide a number of programs to help them. For example, financial assistance. We do have a lot of benefit programs to help them reduce the financial difficulties. Yeah. And for some people, it's probably about flexibility in managing their times. In Central Retail, I keep telling people, again, based on my experience, I don't think work-life balance, never exists. Yeah, I believe in work-life integration and harmonizing this. So with that, what does that mean? It means that flexibility. People need flexibility to manage their work life, and you should provide that. As a leader. And then something else, like stress in the workplace. How would you help them remove that? Meaning you have to create the right environment, you have to create the right culture where people, feel enjoy coming to work, like for example, in Central Retail, my vision has been, one, I have to build a winning team for Central Retail because we are a growing company. We have a lot of growth strategies, and so on. On the other hand, I have to make CRC a great place to work for everybody, because that's how, they feel happy coming to work. They should feel that they want to come to work, rather than they feel obliged to come to work, right? I always believe that if you are able to get hearts and minds of people, then the business would earn more, because otherwise you get, only what you pay for, right? Employee will just do, just to make a living, and this is how much I get, this is how much I work. But no, I want people to feel happy in the workplace. I want them to feel passionate about their jobs. I want them to feel I want to do the best for my customers, and my colleagues. So with that, you have to create the right environment. So I think all of these are in combination are something that we talked about, and we have to really make it work, as employee well-being, in my view. And we can see that from, a number of measurable impacts. For example, employee satisfaction. I really looked into employee satisfaction survey really, really seriously. I don't look at only, what kind of percentage improvement, each BU can make, but I looked at the bottom three. For example, one of the bottom three is, well, if they keep on hanging there for years, then you must do something about it. And I looked at this across all the BUs, see whether there is anything that I can do to help, across the BUs. What should be the strategies, for CRC, rather than BU specific strategies. If there's commonalities, of course, then I should elevate it to become strategy for CRC to drive, the improvement for our people as a whole, rather than for specific BUs, right? That's one. Recently, for example, I participate in Great Place to Work survey. Again, that's another indicator for me to see whether our people really feel this is a great place to work. And it's quite difficult because of the diverse group of people and BUs that we have. But interestingly, and I'm really proud and happy to say that for the first year we are able to certify Great Place to Work for all BUs at the same time, which even the Great Place to Work team said this is a remarkable achievement, because it's quite difficult to achieve in the first year, and with the size of the people that we have. With all of these, I believe are good indicators for me to know whether we are on the right track or not, and we have to keep doing the right thing for our people.
Tony Robbins often says success leaves clues. And I think these are the clues that you're leaving behind with all the success that you have put in place. Yeah. And as I was walking through your office into your room, I can't help but notice there's a room called HRIS and Analytics Innovation Room. Yeah, which is a good segue to my next question on how AI and new technology are being deployed within Central Group on talent management. With such a room like this, I'm expecting something that is of quite a high bar.
Right. We have to really embrace AI, is no doubt about that, because of the size that we have. And, retail is a business where we don't have a lot of high margin. We have to work on, a reasonable margin. So therefore, in terms of cost optimization, resource optimization is something that I have to keep doing that. So as a result of transformation in any form, would have to be part of life, AI adoption is one of them. I have been sort of exploring, a number of AI tools, to improve the efficiency of operational excellence in my team in different areas. We have a team that focus on, looking into possibilities to adopt AI more, and where can we adopt AI to improve operational efficiency, not only in HR, but in other functions as well. We've been using AI in recruitment, for example, in HR, in recruitment, in people development. We use AI to curate customized program to individuals. We use AI to help improve the recruitment and retention for people in the first year. We start actually from first 4 to 6 months, and then first year, because I think in retail, typically when people leave the business, people tend to leave the business within the first year. Once they are able to stay with the business for over 3 years, then they can, the probability of them staying longer with the business would be much higher. So, with that, I have to use AI. And in addition to that, we use AI to help us in a lot of business analytics. We use AI in a number of areas, I would say. These are these are sort of on top of my head. Basically, we use AI, wherever we can to improve, the overall effectiveness, within HR. Yeah, those are some of the examples. We are doing this in some other functions as well. We are partnering with our digital team for other functions, in terms of merchandising, marketing, operations. What can we do to help adopt with the adoption of AI? On top of that, I set up AI Academy to help building, the skills, for people. I think this is future ready skills, and we need to make sure that our people are equipped with these AI skills, in the business, so that they can arrive at better efficiency in the business.
We actually had an earlier episode with the CHRO from Singapore Telecom, Singtel, and they were also setting up an AI academy. Now, in fact, they just set up. They were aiming to train, I think, they're targeting to train 1,000 people and to have 500 of them trained by mid-year, which they already did, and then to train the rest of the 1,000 and then so on and so forth. Yeah, I think it's amazing for companies to be forward-looking, to equip your employees with those kind of skill sets, because or rightly or wrongly, these are skill sets that one, I believe, have to embrace. Right?
Last year, we set up AI Academy around mid of last year, and we targeted, again from scratch, we targeted to have people around 500 participants to join the program, but we end up having around 2,500 last year. And this year we are, looking into doing more. And we even specialize it into AI for merchandising, AI for marketing, AI for HR, AI for supply chain, for example, because the scale, our business requires a lot of specific specialization in different areas. Yeah.
I'd like to move on to understand about sustainability initiative at Central Group. And I think this is something that resonates with a lot of younger generation nowadays, especially the Gen Z, because they are not just working for money, they are working for meaning. And a lot of companies have to take the step on the kind of sustainability measures one should take in order to resonate with the employees, with the new hires that they have. What is your experience in this area so far? How are the younger generation, especially in Thailand or in the markets that you serve, look at sustainability as potentially one of the values that they would actually weigh a lot on?
A lot of applicants, asking us about this. What they are keen to understand what are the directions of the company in terms of sustainability, which I find is really, really impressive. For us, in terms of sustainability, if we divide it into like ESG, right? In terms of environment, we are sort of, every BU is trying to, support the environment strategy from a sustainability perspective. I think we have a lot of BUs, working on using EV vehicles more, transportation by EVs. We have, the solar roof system, installed, in quite a number of stores now. And so everybody, is helping to drive the environment part of ESG to become more fruitful. Waste, is something that we have been constantly working on. Social dimension is the one that I'm leading. Actually, I on top of the people agenda, I lead social dimension part of ESG. In this area, I drive a project around recycling of waste products. For example, plastic caps, I do a lot of projects. I do a lot of activities on this one. I have cap swap project that I've been driving for the last 3 years, and we achieved a number of, we asked the employees to help collect plastic caps, and we transform it into furnitures, and provide or donate those furnitures to needy schools. And we encourage people to participate, when it comes to those days, like donation, CSR activities, and a lot of people are interested to participate. I encourage BUs to also participate on the donations, on top of this cap swap project. And again, received a lot of participations from the BUs. And I think the young generations, they are interested in this. They want to be part of something good, for the society and for the community. And in terms of governance, we are really, really, we take this area very seriously. Anyway, we public listed company. We want to ensure that everything, compliant, with the governance strategy of our sustainability. So overall, I think I'm glad to see that new generations are paying a lot of attention in these areas, and they appreciate. This is one of the factors that they want to join CRC, I would say, because they believe that they're joining the right company. We are doing the right thing for the community as well, not just for the employees.
Based on what you've shared so far, I have this sense that you're a very enlightened HR leader. I'm curious to understand, was there a pivotal moment that led to this enlightenment? And when exactly was that moment?
I probably have to say that, that has always been my passion. I chose this career. This is my chosen career. At my generation, I think some people, became HR because, by choice rather than by chance rather than by choice. But for me, this is by choice. This is my chosen career. I'm passionate about, doing the right thing for the people. I've been passionate about doing the right thing for the community. Part of that maybe, when I grew up from Chittagong School, which is, it belongs directly to the King Rama IX of Thailand. And I think he is really, he's been demonstrating the fact that as a leader, what a good leader should look like. And then he's been doing a number of things for the communities. He has over 4,000 royal projects that he wants to do the right thing for the community, helping people, in needs in different ways. So I think that's part of my my interests all along and my passion all along. So even though, for people, I keep telling my team that if we make these 50,000-60,000 employees happy, then they will do good for their communities as well, their families, their extended families, and the number would grow, right? Again, with that, I use that as a segue, coming into driving social dimension for sustainability. And I believe that, sustainability is something that is really a must. We should not look at sustainability as a project. It should be our guiding principles, in doing things. It should be part of our strategies in everything we do. If we use that as the base of development further, of our strategies, of our direction, I think it's blended in quite naturally. And to me, I think that's my passion, I would say. Yeah.
For the aspiring HR leaders who are watching or listening to this show, what would be one piece of advice that you'd like to give to them?
Being an HR leader is hard and it's not for everyone. You have to be passionate about your job first. I know that in reality, you can't be people who can work based on their passion. I think that's the privilege. But if you chose this career, you should be passionate about it, and you should keep your passion up, because it is the job that I think is very challenging. It is always facing a lot of unexpected situations all the time. You have to transform, the strategic visions of the company and make it work through people. Again, that alone is hard enough already. But if you don't have passion about your career, about what you're doing, I think the chance of you being feel demotivated, feel pushed back all the time, will always be there. So you have to find a way to set the right mindset for yourself. You have to keep motivating yourself. You have to be able to motivate others. You have to keep doing this as part of your daily routine. But it's difficult. What I'm saying is it's not easy. That's why I say it's not for everyone. But once you are in this role and you're passionate about it, you have to keep doing the right thing. You have to keep moving, and you have to keep learning. For me, I never think of myself over 3 decades of my experience, and quite solid experience, I would say, but I never think of myself as a cup full. I always look at myself as a half cup full, and so that, because I need to learn new things all the time. I learn from my team, I learn from my stakeholders, I learn from the communities, and I keep doing. Once I need to apply what I'm learning to do a better good per se for for everything that I do. And with that kind of mindset, then you are ready to face any challenges that come your way, and you have to be sort of full of energy for that.
Now, before we let you go, we're going to jump into our rapid fire section. Short questions, short answers, and here we go. Coffee or tea?
I don't like any of those, but I prefer Coke. I drink Coke all the time.
What's your go-to way to unwind after work?
Listening to podcasts, music, watching movies.
What is one HR myth you wish would disappear forever?
The myth in HR is you can turn everything positive. Yeah, never the case. You must fail. You must be conquered over things, and that's the way it is in HR. You must be able to conquer everything. You must not be liked by everybody. Yeah.
If HR had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, I think managing difficult stakeholders.
What's the best career advice you have ever received?
Keep doing the right thing for the people, and think about other people first, not for yourself first.
If you could automate one part of your job tomorrow, what would it be?
I would say, again, managing stakeholders.
If you were not in HR, what do you think you'd be doing?
I never thought of that. As I said, this is my chosen career. I want to be best HR, in the best version that I can. So I love my job and I want to be in HR.
Thank you so much for coming onto the show, Panchalee. Thank you for sharing your insights and your story with us today. I think your perspective on HR evolving its role in business and society is really both inspiring and also very practical. So for the listeners out there who may be keen to learn more about yourself, we connected on LinkedIn, so you can go to LinkedIn to check you out. But otherwise, stay tuned for more of our stories with other leaders who are rewriting the rules of work right here on Rolling Stories.
Of course, happy to.